Hey everybody, your commissioner here, Tyler Burkhart. Every week I'm going to do a little recap show of week 1 and also move into week 2. Just a little thing to keep things spiced up and I guess for your entertainment too. So let's take a look here. Here are the power rankings after week 1. The big movers of this week, we had New York and San Diego. Both move up 5 spots, proving me wrong. They were at the bottom, but they definitely proved me wrong with some big wins. Also, New York blackout, Tyler Powell's team moved up 4 spots after putting up the most points after week 1, so good for him. The big losers after week 1, Indianapolis moved to the bottom spot after putting up like 39 or 40 points, which was a low. But I know Chris Pollock is going to be hungry for a win in game 2. And then Los Angeles is also the big loser here, going down 5 spots after putting up the second least amount of points. But I know Nate is going to come back here and really look in week 2 here against Cleveland and try to come back after that. A few awards to give out. These are awards I'll give out every week as well. First is the manager of the week. I'll give that to Brian Edmondson. Brian, I know there's not a D in your last name, I apologize. But Brian, I think, is manager of the week for 2 reasons. One, he edged out Adam Wirtz in a big matchup there. He only won by 0.4 points, but he won it fair, with the 3rd most points in our fantasy this week. Also, with the acquisition of Brandon Jackson, huge acquisition for him, adding some running back depth. So good for him. He's out of a budget, but that could really pay off towards the end when, who knows, Jackson could put up 1,200 yards. The move of the week goes to Mike Hemmer, Chris Pollock, and myself. I almost thought about making this Brandon Jackson, but how many leagues have you seen do a 3-team deal? I've never seen it done before with 10 players. So we made it happen. Chris and myself upgraded our quarterback positions. Hemmer got Frank Gore, so that will help his running back situation. So good trade for all of us here, and especially for what we wanted out of it. If you want specifics, I put it on our main page for our fantasy football league, so you can check that out if you want to see. Then finally, moving to week 2, the last thing I'll always do is I'll have one game that I'll feature. And the game of the week this week is San Diego versus the New York Yankees. 2 teams that I thought were going to be terrible, but after week 1 kind of proved me wrong. And I think they could come out in week 2 and really have a good matchup here. So I'm going to feature this matchup, and the team I'm going to predict to win are the New York Yankees. I think Peyton Manning for Brian is going to have a huge week. So I really do like that matchup for him and what he's going to be able to do. Also, he has some pretty good wideouts going into this week. And with Clinton Portis getting a lot of the carries now for Washington, I like him here. Otherwise, if you're in purple, if you're circled by purple, that means that I am predicting you to win for week 2. So as you see, the top 3 teams I think are going to have another victory. But a little upset here, Indianapolis I'm going to predict over Oakland. I think Chris Pollock really has some very strong matchups here for week 2. That he's going to be able to deliver. Marcus Colston has a great matchup, I think, against San Francisco, who showed some pretty pathetic defense against Seattle's passing game. So I really like Indianapolis to upset Oakland here for week 2. But otherwise, if I circled you, I think you're going to win. So that pretty much is the show. Make sure to go on our group and predict who you think is going to win, so you can try to prove me wrong. Otherwise, wish you guys the best of luck in week 2 and game on.